Magic the Gathering as an investment. It's time to ask the hard questions. As with anything in life, a tough question never has an easy answer. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today as we're going to discuss Magic the Gathering as an investment. And yeah, there's a whiteboard in the background. We're going to use it right away so I can explain this. So I'm going to move it out of the way, but I want to explain this. There's something out there called the Rule of 72. You will take the expected annual return of something. So let's just say 5%. That's usually what I use, 5%. You take the 5%, you divide it by 72, and that will tell you how many years it takes for whatever you're investing in to double. In this case, $100, 5%, means it's going to take 14.4 years to double in value. In this case, let's say for a Magic the Gathering booster box from 2014, 2015, that's roughly how long it'll take at 5%. Actually, it's exactly what it'll take. Now, the Moxman here used to believe between 5 and 7 years. Back in 2020, I was kind of like, between 5 and 7 years, most of these Magic boxes seem to double. Then you can sell, make some money. Nowadays, I'm thinking 7 to 12 years minimum to double in value. Okay, now that we got the Rule of 72, and you can pause this and look at it after. See? There, I've paused it. You can look at it. Let's get this out of the way now. Let's put this down. Let the Moxman climb into the chair here. I'm actually sitting for this video today. Not my normal style anymore. I realize I usually stand here, but I thought this was an important one to have because it's just going to be kind of a casual thing of what I've done and where I think things are going. For anyone who wants to invest in Magic the Gathering, you're like, I want to make money. I want to speculate on some of these cool cards. This is probably not for you. I'll tell you right now, most of the shady speculators from back in the day, from 2020 through COVID, most of those people are gone. They either invested heavily and lost all their money. They had to liquidate. They made shady deals. It didn't work out. Maxed out credit cards. Either way, they realized it's not nearly as easy as they thought to get in and get out with liquidity. So the speculators are gone. So what does that leave you with? It leaves you with the players and the players who also speculate on the cards. Because there's still people like me out there who still buy boxes. I buy reserve list cards each and every week, and I build my collections up because I love doing it. But for those players and those speculators, it's not always about the money. It can be. It's kind of a joy to see things grow in value. But in Magic, things don't grow like I showed you in the Rule of 72, do they? If I bought that box of Konzatark here for $99 back in the day, let me share this one with you. I think I popped this one up. Let me share this with you here. Here are the box prices that I've tabulated going back in Canadian dollars years and years ago. So 1993 to 2013. You can see all the different box prices. 2015, it started going up. 2016, 2017, 2018. You see how the prices just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And that's draft boxes only. I'm not going to go into where I think collector boxes and set booster boxes are. I got different thoughts on those, and they're not fully formed yet. It's like a slow thing digesting in my brain. I need more data, and even though it's been out since 2018, I don't have enough. So I can't really comment strongly with an opinion on those things until I get more information. But draft boxes. When you're thinking of investing in something, and since it's not going to go up in a nice 5% even path, and we don't know print numbers, so we don't know how many are out there, it seems very unlikely that anyone in their right mind should be investing in these boxes. Because it's not really investment, it's a speculation that you believe there will be value down the road. You are looking to sell to other people in the same pyramid scheme that you're caught in right now. Now, do I think it's a real pyramid scheme? No, but it's a great analogy. You know, you bought a box and you want to sell those boxes to two people down the line, and it travels down. But as Magic ages and as things go along, just like a classic collectible car, old comic books, old hockey cards, baseball cards, they can go up a lot in value to certain investors, speculators, players. There are groups who are going to buy these cards over time. But will there be enough based on how much product is out there? It seems unlikely, which means it doesn't seem like this is a good investment for most people. It doesn't seem like this is a worthwhile investment when you can get a steady rate of between 5, 6, and 7% just by investing in the stock market, by taking blue chip stocks that pay dividends that can go up and pay you an annual dividend, seems so much safer. But many of us have never done those things, and we don't want to. And we feel kind of weird about it because we've never been taught finance. We've never been taught to do those sorts of things growing up, right? And I understand that because I was the same way. I grew up poor, and every paycheck was just a paycheck to pay your mortgage payment, put food on the table, maybe some clothes on your kids' backs, and get through the day, okay? That's how a lot of us live our lives. So when you look at Magic as a hobby, and you love playing it, and you've been buying the cards for a year, and you look at those box prices, and right there at Cons, we can look at a box that I bought for $100, Cons of Tarkir. If you actually took a look, which I had the images, but I decided not to put them up. If you look at any of the mythics in that set, nothing's over like $2. All the value there is in the fetch lands, okay? But the sealed product will hold a certain value because there are players who are nostalgic about it. It is kind of like the basket of goodies, but it's still not that steady because you have to sell it. Now, when you look at sold listings, you go on eBay, you type in MTG booster boxes, start going through the sold listings. Boxes sell each and every day, and some sell really poorly. You look at Born of the Gods, there was people who bought those boxes for $100 and they just sold them for $110. So they lost tons of money over the years, thinking that they could make a lot of money doing it. A lot of us thought we could. We were told we could make money doing this. Now the flip side is you can. It's not as likely as it used to be, but you can. If you are willing to not look at it that way. You can't look at it as an investment. Look at them as game pieces to enjoy the game. Play the game. You want to store a box? Go ahead and store a box. Do I think you should buy cases of it? Nope, I don't. My thoughts on that has changed over the years when I realized the liquidity in the market is not where it needs to be to absorb that much product. Which means you're forced to go back to the LGS you bought it from, try to sell it to them, and they're giving you 50 cents on the dollar. Well, how's that going to help you? You bought it for 100, they're willing to pay 50 to get it back in stock. Like, no, that's not why you did it for 5 years and you did the carrying costs. But you can make money because some of these boxes do go up in value. So if you have a Cons box that I bought for 100, now it said it would take 14 years to double at an annual rate of 5%, but fetch lands haven't come along. The box got opened massively, so the stocks are low. That's supply and demand coming into play. And now you have a box that's cheaper. You're like, wow, this box was $100, and now I can sell it for $300. Minus fees and stuff, I end up with $250. That's not bad. You've doubled your money. Good for you. Great. But that's not every box, is it? That's not how it's going to work out for every box. So players start trying to look at the cards inside and try to pick those cards apart, which ones are good, which ones aren't. But we know Wizards of the Coast will reprint. So it starts skewing everyone's vision of what they thought this game was going to be as that kind of investment vehicle going forward. To hold the sealed boxes for a long period of time, enjoy them, possibly open the odd box here and there, play with some friends, which is still a very viable option. If you think 5 years from now you want to play Dungeons & Dragons and you could buy the boxes for $80, yeah, I'd buy an extra box. Because chances are it's going to be a little more expensive than that later down the road. Chances are. But no guarantees, as we've seen, because Born of the Gods, I just told you, it sold for like $10 more than what it was at printing. Crazy stuff in this world. But a box like Cons can go up. Dominaria 2018, the reason that box went up, there was outside factors that affect some boxes. That's the easiest way to put it. Outside things affected it. Now, that's for your sealed product kind of thing. If you look at anything like this stuff, you go back as far as World Wake. All right, these are like the intro boxes back then. They have one pack in the back. Is it one or two for this one? I think there's one booster pack of these. Some used to have two, and it had a built-in deck. I remember buying these at whatever store this was. It was inside the Eaton Center here in Toronto, but I think they were like $9 each, $9.99, and I bought them right at the end because I couldn't find any more World Wake because it was out of print. Get it? Remember when Magic was out of print? And you know what? It worked out fine. I held on to them. I opened a couple, and now they're probably worth, what, $50 if I can sell it. And that's the thing. You have liquidity in the market, and a lot of people don't feel that way. They can't picture themselves selling stuff, so there's no real value to them. The players are going to play. A few speculators are going to hold on to stuff. But now let's get to the singles, the single side of things. When you look at any card nowadays that Wizards is putting out, I mean any card. I don't care how awesome they are, how amazing they look, or what alternate frame artwork they're putting on the chess piece today. Because I can find different colored chess pieces all together. You got the Bart Simpson's chess set. You got the Transformers chess set. It's still chess with a different covering on it. That's all that Magic is doing with all these alternate versions, trying to sell us a different dog with the exact same breed. Okay? It's the same thing. Yes, some people will be appealed by some of the different wraps and skins they put on their different framed artworks, but it's still the same card at the core. And that drives down the value of those cards. I hate to say it to Wizards this way, but you're really messing things up for anyone who wants to believe there is value. Knowing the cards are getting reprinted is just killing everything. It's killing it to the point where it's like, what's the point? And this is where you get people who say, all these cards should be cheap, everything should be affordable. And maybe it will be, but that brings back that problem about how expensive the boxes are. It's a whole little like circle that goes around in my head all the time. Because I can't justify buying a collector box at that price or a draft box at that price when it keeps going up like that when there's no value inside the box. And when the value comes out, it drops by 50% within the like a new card, just drops right away. At least with the reserve list, I feel steady. I feel safe still, which is why I continue to buy it, and there's cards I still want on there. So why risk buying something new when I can buy something old? So on that investment side of me, I stick to the older cards, which I feel are the safer bet. And that's where players tend to find themselves now. That's where a lot of my friends find themselves, and where a lot of you should probably be looking. If you just want to play the game, play the game. Buy the cards, buy the singles you want. I don't recommend buying sealed product at this point. Don't buy it from anybody. Don't buy it from me. Actually, I don't sell it, but don't buy it from anybody. Unless you really want to get a box for like a draft night or something. But the singles, sure. I'd wait the 120 days at this point, 90 to 120 days, buy them when they're all falling. It's been proven by things like Brothers War. All these sets lose about 50% of their value as more comes onto the market. Not the same with certain cards, of course, but the way Wizards has it being drummed up right now, there is no reason to buy these cards at release. There's no benefit to buying the new model because we all know it's going to lose too much, and you can just wait it out and buy it at a discount later. And more people are starting to pick up on that, which drives down the investment dollars that Wizards hopes to capitalize on when a product comes out. Do you remember when things like Avacyn came out? When Avacyn came out and you had the Avacyn Angel of Hope and stuff, you could get one per box, maximum. It was like a $50, $60 card. That was the thrill. The gambler's premium of opening that pack, of getting lucky. Even if you look at an old box, I guess like Lorwyn, there are still cards that are like 15, 16 bucks. The overall box is way too expensive for a sealed product. Again, lower print run. But there are still cards in there that are 5, 6, 7 bucks. You're like, wow, some of these cards are kind of valuable, but they're going to get reprinted. Never forget that. Don't get ahead of yourself thinking they won't be or that they won't touch back on it. Anything that gains value means Wizards of the Coast is going to go back and print it again at some point. Don't think it's immune. There are reasons for them to do secret layers. There are reasons for them to print off, I don't know, Auntie's Hovel and stuff like that and bring some of these old cards back from the Lorwyn era. You can look at an original Johnny, and it's, I think that's from Lorwyn 2, right? Whatever. It's like a $9 card. That's not bad for a Planeswalker that's that aged, right? It's been printed a couple times. But it's, you don't see Archangel of Hope being that, do you? That thing started at like $50 and it's down to like $5 already. Talk about a financial failure if you bought that card at pre-release, which is why everyone tells people not to buy them. The investment dollars, the investment side of Magic is radically changing, at least in my view. I've seen more people buying single reserve list cards they've always wanted, like a Wheel of Fortune, Sliver Queen, and picking up those cards as opposed to buying boxes or buying cards they know are going to lose in value. I have more and more of my friends and people on my Discord and my Patreon who send those messages like, I listen to you, I'm going to cut myself a nice little spreadsheet of all the cards I want. I'm going to mark the prices they're at release, mark them at 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, which is something I do all the time to get that range of prices to see where it falls to. It gives you an indicator going forward of how these products are. Ren, the Realm Breaker, that thing started out at like 40 something bucks. I've seen it for like $8 now. What happened to these cards? What happened? They got so many opened, they were so common and easy to find that they don't hold any value. So why should anyone pay top dollar to get them? What's the point of investing or collecting them like that when it's that common? Like in Aftermath right now, there's so much repetition, nobody cares. How many training grounds have I opened so far? Some of the cards are still cool. Great to get some cheap cards into players' hands. But that's not an investment. And that's not a reason to drive investment dollars there, which is what is lacking from what Wizards of the Coast is doing right now, saying it's a collectible card game. Yeah, you can collect them, but there's no point if everything's so common that there's no point in collecting them. There's no actual rarity other than maybe serialized cards right now and reserve list cards. There's some individual cards, even like the Kaladesh Inventions right now, I'd still say, hey, those are kind of cool, but I fear them getting reprinted. And that fear of being reprinted is what's keeping people away from ever putting dollars there, putting serious money behind building those product lines up, because like, why should I put money there if it's going to get reprinted? What's the point, Moxman? I'm not going to bother. And I can't disagree. Wizards of the Coast has done nothing to reinforce the idea that these are a collectible item that you want to hold on to. Kaladesh Inventions are a perfect example. I think they are gorgeous and beautiful cards. The artwork is stunning, and they do have a high value attached to them. They're expensive cards out there. But since I think they will get reprinted, I'm not touching them with a 10-foot pole. And a lot of other people have stopped buying that stuff too. And their money filters down into some other avenue of spending. And it doesn't even have to be reserve list cards, which is where I would put it into. They go off and they go and buy a new stock, a new bond. They put some money down their house to build a new kitchen. I don't know. But they do something else with their cash. Which means technically Wizards of the Coast is losing revenue. Now, everyone says, hey, Wizards of the Coast is doing awesome. Overall, hey, they're thumbs up, they're doing great. Good for them. But they're not getting a lot of my friends' money. They're not getting a lot of the people out there that I know used to spend massive amounts on Magic. So maybe somebody else has come along and picked up that slack. How do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube talking to you all about the possibilities of investing in this game. So as we close things off for the video today, guys, I just want to recap this. You can use that rule of 72 to give yourself a rough idea. Always look at sold listings if you're going to be diving into sealed product for any reason. And have the idea you should be holding it for 15 years. 15 years, guys. That's a very long time. We have no idea what will happen in that amount of time frame, which is why I'm telling you to go so far into the future that it's almost kind of scary. You're like, it's going to collect dust for 15 years? Yeah, because the old rules do not seem to apply to investing the way they did even a few years ago. For anything reserve list, I still see a lot of activity. I still see things selling quite a bit, and a lot of players enjoy buying the cards. So I think a lot of players will continue to do that, whether I tell them to or not, whether I think it's a good idea or not, because I'll be honest, I'm still doing it. So I'm not one to tell you guys not to do it if I'm the one doing it myself. And when it comes to anything new, unless you're playing competitively and have to have the cards right away for some deck you're playing at some Pro Tour qualifier or something, yeah, I'd wait the 120 days. They're not worth investing in a new card when you know the price is going to drop that much. It's ridiculous to spend this kind of cash on cardboard that's going to come back around in a couple of years the way Wizards is going right now. They need to do things to fix the game. They need to reinforce these ideas that they had prior to 2020. They got to maybe just turn the page a little bit. Get some PR training in there and try to get the players to see it from their point of view, but do things to solidify the players' positions that it's a collectible card game, that they want to get the cards. Because right now they're failing. It's a failing scenario for this company. They may not see it. Maybe they'll disagree with everything I'm saying. I don't care. This is how I feel when I'm looking at this stuff. I'm just one person talking to you guys out there for how many people decide to watch this video. And yeah, my opinion is going to change years from now. I'm not stubborn and keep a linear thought line my entire life. Opinions evolve. Things change my mind. It's amazing to think about. And right now, I'm going to keep to the path of, yes, I'm going to buy reserve list cards. There's lots I still want to get. I love the older school cards because I'm old. I want to get more Arabian Nights. I want to get the Dark. I want to get Legends and Antiquities cards. I like those cards. I'm still going to play new pre-releases, but I'm not going to buy a lot of the new stuff and hold on to it for any long period of time. But there are a few cards I'm still chasing out there in case. I'm willing to take a few speculation chances, thinking that complete sets may be made later. I do videos on that. You guys can go find them. It's an interesting time to be in Magic with the prices the way they are. And that tempts me as the investment side of me, the speculator side of me comes out and says, There are a few deals here I think are too good to pass up on. And what do I care if I spend 40 bucks here, 50 bucks there? I still get to keep the card and I'll enjoy it forever. But there's a chance it could quadruple or whatever in money years down the road, and I could trade that up to, I don't know, a piece of Power or Tabernacles. I tend to trade up sometimes. Guys, crazy things that can happen, but never plan on them happening. If you're willing to let it go to zero, and you keep a cap on what you're willing to spend and never hurt friends and family, always keep to your budget, then you shouldn't have a problem doing whatever you want to do in life. Just keep it in mind. Anyway, I'm out of here. We're done. Thanks a lot. Slam some comments in the comments section, and we will see what everyone thinks about investing in Magic the Gathering. All right, here we go. We're at the end. You can see all the amazing people who support my channel flying by on the screen, and I want to thank each and every one of them. These are the patrons of the channel who show that support, guys. My YouTube membership members, thanks, guys, for being here. You're awesome. Well, here we are at the end of the video. You made it through. That's a long video to sit through, I know. It's funny how people say, your opinions have changed. Yeah, opinions change. Things change in life. But the one thing that hasn't changed, I'm still buying reserve list cards. Nom, 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 nom. I'm going to gobble those babies up. When the prices are this low, it's not stopping me. And if they go to zero, I don't care. I still have collections of Army Men in my basement from when I was a kid. They're probably worth $0 too, but they're still fun to play with, and that's the point. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Let's put the Bizarre Baghdad in the comments section today if you made it this far. Bizarre Baghdad, because I'm so close. So close. Getting excited. I think I'm going to be able to buy it within a couple of weeks. So